For people who want to know what is the Keith Andrew Network, the whole point of my talk show is to show you that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, so prove them. Stand out to something.
Hi, I'm Mike Fox.
And I'm Trisha Fox.
And we were interviewed on the Keith Andrew Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Keith Andrew Network. That is right, you're watching the one and only Keith Andrew Network. I'm here with Mike and Trisha Fox. And that makes you the Foxes. And welcome to the Keith Andrew Network and the Keith Andrew Network family. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. It's an honor.
Oh, the honor is all mine. As that being said, half hour of your time, freedom of speech, self-expression, it's PG-13, but with that being said, you have the right to talk about and share anything and everything that you want to talk about. So the first question I want to ask is, tell our audience a little bit about yourselves.
Absolutely. We are Mike and Trisha Fox, proud parents of Ariana Fox, our little rock star daughter. And we do a lot of different things. Our main thing right now is that we are CEOs and owners of a Splash Design Works, and that's splashdw.com. It's a family-owned and operated design and marketing business, and we've been in business since 2012. And we're also marriage coaches, relationship coaches, and we're also speakers for youth and professionals. We do a lot of workshops. We've done a lot of workshops, and since COVID, that's changed the dynamics, of course. But for the past few years, we've actually been filmmakers and multi-award-winning filmmakers, and we're just extremely excited about that. So we've done a lot of video, a lot of commercials, but actually feature films with the latest one, The Box in the Basement, which stars actually our daughter as the opposite of how she really is. And it's actually now on Amazon Prime Video, as well as Tubi TV, and it's supposed to be on IMDb TV as well pretty soon. So, that's kind of a summary. And
I'm Trisha Fox, and I help with things in the business and anything with the filmmaking, and I also do acting and different things like that. And I'm also learning ASL, so I'm trying to become fluent in ASL, American Sign Language.
And she has a lot of certificates in ASL already, like a lot. And we're actors, both of us. So. And voiceover.
Actually, that's looking. Usually, I have like a list of questions, but I'm like, what? Let's do something different. So I'm actually looking at your profile, and off the air, I do have some great ideas. But one of the questions I want to ask you is: you are mentioned, you are award-winning filmmakers. Who inspired you to become that? And would you be interested in doing one about me, putting you in a hot seat?
Woo, it's hot. So I'll answer that in that order. So we've always been into movies. I've always been a creative brain per se. So I've always loved movies, movie making, and the behind the scenes of how movies are made for a long time. So right before, around the time of the COVID, basically I started getting a show reel together for our daughter, Ariana, so that way I can help build up her video show reel. And one of the show reels was a film short that was to inspire others. So that got an award. And then I did another one that was a sci-fi film short, and that started getting awards. And I'm thinking, okay, we're actually getting film festival awards for these shorts. So, I'm just kind of pondering that. And then, so I wanted to get more show reel to show her serious side. And that's when the box in the basement started to come into my mind, and it just grew like exponentially from there into a couple of minutes of showreel, into what would be considered a film short. And then like in 5 days, I opened it up to submissions for people to submit as far as actors and actresses. And in like 5 days, I had like 85 submissions. And I'm thinking, okay, this is getting serious. And it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing until it became a lot of people on board in the project, and then a film short to a film medium. And then I think we were at the park when we were
For our date night.
Yeah, we were on our date night at the park, and a fellow filmmaker of mine, a friend of mine, said, you know, you need to really make this into a full feature film. And I was just like, full feature film. That's good. And then, so we were talking on our date night at the park, and we started adding up all of the minutes that we had of all the scenes. And I'm saying, you know what? It's really not far off from what would be considered today's full feature film time period. A lot of time. And so that's when we kind of decided, you know what? All right, let's go ahead and do this craziness and make this a full feature film. And so we added all kinds of scenes, and even the scenes that we added were transitional scenes that became vital, our favorite scenes of the movie. Like, which one's your favorite?
Mexican restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That's your favorite?
I think so.
So the Mexican restaurant scene, it's just with new actors that I worked with before. And so So this box in the basement has won probably almost 20 full film festival awards. So right now it's being put together in a package that's going to affect literally thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people in the Philippines, dealing with like bullying and parent-teen relationships and making the right choices in a sci-fi time traveling type of movie kind of thing. So it's really awesome. So that's that. To answer your question, yes, any time that a movie can be made to inspire others, that's kind of what we're about. We have a lot of people that they just pump out content, just to make money. And I understand that, you got the hustle and you got the grind. But our content that we like to put together needs to be cinematic and inspirational in a way that it's with a purpose and passion and a purpose. And so, what you're saying, falls in line with that. If you can, why can't A, B, and C, and D, and so, we would love to have a conversation on the details of how it could be made into an inspirational, movie, feature film to help empower and inspire so many others out there that are dealing with the same things that you're dealing with and that need that inspiration more than a documentary. And this is, I can do documentary, but there's a difference in a documentary and a feature film. A feature film has a cinematic storyline approach as opposed to here's facts, here's figures, now go be inspired. Yes, it doesn't work like that, It does, but it's not the same feel, So, that's what we're aspiring. I'm more of the Steven Spielberg, J.J. Abrams type of movie maker as opposed to, somebody who's just putting out content just to put it out kind of thing.
Right.
So.
No, understandable. So my next question I want to ask you is, what is the biggest change you want to make to your film career and being a director?
Good question. So the biggest change would be in status, to be honest with you. And that is that I am believing and in faith, we are believing as a family that we would be able to, I would be able to direct a regular budgeted feature film, that can impact innumerable amount of people. Because I can see it in my eye without even trying to. I could see the shots, the angles, the cinematic approach, and the storyline to where, and I actually did research on movies, and movies actually has the power statistically, numerically, to change narratives. That's how powerful movies are, and because when you wrap it and package it in an entertaining and inspirational way, it literally changes the hearts and the minds of people, which is why they use film and media so much to push certain narratives, whether good or bad. So, I know the power of media and film. So that's the biggest change that we are believing for every day, is that we would have the opportunity to have to direct and be a filmmaker for a regular budgeted film that has the impact, that has the potential to impact so many people, and of course, be a blessing for us financially, as well. So I would say that's the biggest, change is that.
No, absolutely. And now on your profile, you have some amazing things. So I'm going to ask you one question, but it's for each of those subjects you just talked about. One, have you ever worked with people with disabilities? Two, it sounds like an oxymoron, but I'm going to say it anyway. Have you worked with people with disabilities, and how can someone with disabilities follow in your footsteps? Because you mentioned you are an award-winning filmmaker. What are some of your ideas?
It's a good question. I'll be directing, just interesting you brought that up. I'll be directing an cinematic episodic pilot in the fall time, in September, late September, in Georgia. We'll all be, we all go as a family, so we travel as a family. But we'll be out there in Georgia, and I'm already producing and directing and doing the creatives for it. But it's called Savannah and Pepperoni. And the lead actor, which is actually somebody that we knew who connected with us and through our daughter. So it was really, really awesome actually to connect with him. But the lead actor is autistic. And so it's going to be a very moving and powerful narrative to have the lead actor.
The character.
The lead, not the lead actor, the lead character. Yeah. But I just kind of synonymous here. And he actually has family. His family is autistic. So it's really, really cool. As far as connecting and in terms of how to follow in or how to work with that, I think it's imperative that we don't have perfect people to be like superheroes. None of us are perfect, and one of the reasons that we love the Matrix, the original Matrix, not Matrix 4, but the original Matrix, is that, Keanu Reeves plays, Thomas Anderson as Neo, and as Thomas Anderson and as Neo, the one, he has a lot of flaws and he's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and so that is relatable. So I think it's imperative that we always try to incorporate, people from all walks of life that would be not considered, perfect, perfect super people, and to show that we are all heroes. Like Aunt May said to Spider-Man, I believe there's a hero in all of us, and to portray people that gives light and spotlight to those that have talent and skills, whether disabled or not. We should all kind of work together in harmony to help bring awareness and spotlight, the amazing talent in all of us. So, hopefully that kind of answered.
No, absolutely. And now the next one I want to ask you is, how comfortable are you teasing others? And what are both of your claims of fame?
You can go first. You claim to fame. We wouldn't say we're famous. We're on our way. You know, the grind and the hustle. But hard work is something that we instill in our daughter. And it was just kind of interesting because just yesterday or the day before yesterday, one of the partners for a sitcom, episodic sitcom that I'm pretty much doing 90% of the work for and directing, and I actually have to do just a few pickups on May 7th. But it's a family-friendly, faith-based sitcom. And he just out of the blue just wanted to say, hey, you know what? I just want to let you know how much that, you know, I appreciate you working hard, even through issues and drama with people and blah, 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 you know, and I'm watching and I'm learning, you know, how you hustle and you grind and you work hard and you're inspiring others to work hard. And that would be the realistic approach to say how anybody really can succeed is by working hard. It really kind of irks me when I see people that because of their last name that they're successful and they don't work for it. And you know, we sure do appreciate those that have put their blood, sweat, and tears into making it what it is. You know, and you know, whatever level we're on, you know, doesn't mean that we all reach the same plateau, but we reach the plateaus in our own life. You know, and you know, were you gonna say something? No.
No, I was just it's what you're saying. I've had a lot of experience also with working with those with learning disabilities and also with even being autistic. I used to work in daycare, so I used to have kids that were autistic, and then also we had even before, like I said, I'm working to learn ASL, become fluent in ASL, and so I've learned a lot about the deaf community. And part of learning ASL is it's even different, I guess, than maybe some other languages where a lot of when you're going through the classes, you learn about a lot about the culture. So I've been learning a lot about deaf culture and things with the deaf community and stuff like that. And we had actually even worked, it hasn't worked out yet, but we were working with this deaf person who was wanting to make a sitcom in ASL for the deaf community and even for others to enjoy too, but like that's something that would actually be in ASL. And I think it's even in that area with the deaf community, it's actually been so nice for them seeing, like, now there's been a lot of movies coming out with deaf people and speaking or in sign language and stuff like that. So it's really like Mike said, it's really good for, you know, them to see if this deaf person or, you know, this person with a learning disability or any Down syndrome or any kind of disability, if they can, you know, be an actress or they can be a director or they can be whatever, then maybe I can too. So that's a really important thing, I think. And I've even in the past, I've had relatives that have had a learning disability and were put in special education classes and things like that. So I definitely understand that part of it, and, you know, would love to help in any way, you know, and with like people with that kind of thing.
And one thing I want to point out is what you said about having famous last names. Yeah, you may have a famous last name. You may get this part, you may get this stuff because you know that person. You might not know jack shit, but it's just the fact like, oh, yeah, it's a famous last name. Well, now how can I benefit from having someone on my team who doesn't know a damn thing, but it doesn't mean anything. You know, for me, I want to be a wrestler. But for my case, I can't wrestle myself out of a wet paper bag. But, you know, if you have a famous name, people think you have it made. And the reason I bring that up is so I found this thing, I think it was Instagram or Facebook, about the Olsen twins.
Olsen, yeah. And
you talk about Mary-Kate and Ashley, but you never hear about Owen Wilson or Elizabeth Olsen. And she actually said, you know, her sisters were assholes. So you said, I'm going to go out, change my last name, and I will prove I don't need my sister's famous fortune to become established. And it's what she was in the
Yeah,
Avengers.
she's Wanda. She's an Avenger.
And she had her own TV show. And Owen Wilson, it's a number one, said, I will go out and amount to something. And his brother, another actor, seemed, I don't really know the dynamics between those two, but the same thing. I will be, Owen Wilson, Owen will do this, comedy, whatever. I want to do serious. So both of you are in the entertainment world, but one's doing comedy and the other one's doing serious. So it's really interesting how you see the family rivalry, or it could actually motivate you to become better people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it takes that persistence, to say, I'm going to do something, and I'm going to carve my own path. And that's actually something that we kind of talk about in our film, The Box in the Basement, is that the main character, she has the choice to let others carve her path, or she carves her own path. What choice will you make? So yeah, we're heavy on you carving your own path and making your life what it needs to be according to you, not somebody else defining it for you, kind of thing.
I think it's really also important, like you said, for especially for people with disabilities, whether it's a learning disability or any other kind of disability, that it really is important for them to see others succeeding and to see them doing things. Because I remember there was actually this guy who came to my high school, and he was a motivational speaker. And I still remember his speech when he talked to us. And I think he had been maybe in one of the wars or something like that, but he was in a wheelchair, and so he didn't have his legs anymore and stuff like that. He had his legs amputated and things like that, and he had some different things going on. And it was funny because he told us at our school, he said, I know you guys are going to go home and you're going to tell your parents I met this really cool handicapped guy at school, right? And so he said, so I wanted to make sure I bring my handicap. And so he had this cap on it that said handy, and he was like, this is the only handicap that I have. And like that just inspired me so much. Like I still remember that, and that was like all the way back in high school when I heard that. It's a mentality thing, and so many people have accomplished so much when they only have one arm, like Bethany Hamilton, who got her arm bitten off by a shark, but she went on to become a pro surfer, and things like that. So it's like, it's really, sometimes it can be a mentality thing that is holding you back, when really if someone encourages you and supports you in the way, you can do so many things, more than you could even imagine that you can do.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I do have a couple questions for you guys off the air. But the one I always ask everyone, when I first approached you to be a guest on the show, what made you say yes, and how do you feel now? And what's coming up on the horizon for you? You have any new projects?
So what made us say yes is actually the interview that you did with our daughter, and a good experience, that she had, and your overall your purpose, your passion, and your purpose is to to help inspire and be a positive light for others, which is good. It's not just like like a soap opera type of situation, let's bring some drama on and bring up the ratings. No, there's a purpose for it. And so anytime you can do something in the media that garners a purpose, then we're all for it. And you can answer the other one if you want. Can you repeat the other question?
Yeah, what's coming up on the horizon for you?
Oh yeah, coming up on the horizon. Well, right now we are working on a faith-based comedy sitcom. I want to be a star with another person, and then also like Mike said, he's going to be directing a project in Savannah, Georgia. It's going to be it's a show, and it's a pilot episode for a show they're working on, and that's going to be called Savannah and Pepperoni.
You just gave me a great idea, and if you take it, maybe we can go have on it. You just mentioned how to be a star. But how about do a reality show about how to become the same thing, how to become a star, but how you can become a famous star when dealing with a learning disability. That's an idea.
Yeah, and that's a really good idea. It's anytime, like I said, anytime you can do something to inspire others to follow in a positive footstep, I think that it's so needed right now. There's so many, there's just so many media projects out there that go down a path that people know is not a good or positive path, and they're just trying to push the envelope and push the boundaries of what can they get away with, per se, without it, becoming not seeable, but people on the inside really do want an inspirational mentor or a story or something that would inspire them. And that's how people really are on the inside. So yeah, any story like that would be fantastic.
No, I agree. I keep looking at the background and you have this thing floating in the air. And I'm thinking to myself, it has to be like a green screen. So is that actually your background? And how is that floating in the air, that Crystal Fox logo?
Oh, yeah, it's a part of an app that I actually had to purchase that allows you to put a logo on there. And so, of course, we do design work normally, for Slash Design Works. So I just created a PNG, transparent PNG, and then put that on there.
Because if you look at it, it looks like that black box is shooting up, and that'd be a great invention. How about box laser? It might have it too. One of those projectors that just projects as your image.
True, yeah.
That would be cool. Just right in the background. Yeah. Actually, that black thing right there is our professional microphone. You can't see the mic because it has a filter behind it.
How Ari does all of her voiceovers and Mike does voiceover work as well.
Yeah, my voiceover is more character based, whereas Ari's is more
commercial or accents. She does
commercial and accents.
Or Spanish. She can, because she's bilingual now, so she can do things in Spanish too.
Yeah, and mine is more like fun, Mickey Mouse, Yoda, a character type of voiceover type stuff.
Yeah, sounds wonderful. Now, I do have a couple of questions for you off the air. The last one is, how can our fans and listeners get in touch with you? And are you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn?
Yes. Yes to all. We are on all of those. On Facebook, it's going to be, there's a few different things you can see. On Facebook, it is Splash DW, and also Splash Design Works, and then also Crystal Fox Films. On Instagram, it is Official Mike Fox and Splash Design Works and Crystal Fox Films. And LinkedIn, it's got the LI, I think, whatever. But if you do a search, you can do Official Mike Fox or Splash Design Works as well.
How do you remember all this?
I don't know. And then what's the other one? Pretty much on YouTube, you can go Splash Design Works. And then our website is splashdw.com, probably because I have to say it so often. Splashdw.com. D is in design, W is in works.com. And then, excuse me, and then crystalfoxfilms.com. And those two things you can pretty much, find us on. And you can always email us. We do a lot of video production, by the way, as well. Commercials. We have commercials in movie theaters playing right now for our clients. So we do a lot of regular actual commercials and radio ads and things like that. So we do video and audio production. We've been doing a lot of that. So it's been pretty interesting when we go to the movies. Just like last night, we went to see the Fantastic Beast thing, and we get to see our logo on there, but then we get to see our clients' commercial play, and we kind of watch people's reactions just to see what they see, how they look at the commercial, but that's fun. So we are on YouTube, and we are not on TikTok. Our daughter is reluctantly on TikTok. We are not on TikTok yet because we just don't have time. Yeah, that's how you can get a hold of us. info@SplashCW and director@crystalfoxfilms.com.
No, absolutely. And on the bottom of the screen, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, in the description, it will be your 2 short bios about you guys and all your social media links. But while we're on the subject, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit notification. You'll be notified when brand new interviews are up and ready. If you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn and Twitter, make sure to like, subscribe. And until we meet again, it was a real honor and privilege having both of you on the show. Until we meet again, thank you and have a good night.